Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to briefly talk about something I've been pretty excited about, which is cinematic space. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Sacred Art of Gaming. I am Sacred, and this is Cinematic Space, which is created by John Fredericks, also known as Sharp Mountain Games. Oh yes, Sharp Mountain Games right at the bottom there. So, there's some cool stuff in here. There is a little bit of similarities between this and Streamline Supers, which I would also like to discuss briefly in a future video. I'm not going to go through every single page, because I feel like I would rather show you through play in another video, but I did want to whet the palate, so to speak. Some of the things to note based on my experience. It's a D20 roll-under system, and something that I love, which is, I'm just going to tell you this straight out the gate, and I love when any system does this. One roll accomplishes two big things. Do you succeed? And in this case, damage or like hurdle points, which is kind of similar to Savage Worlds, Blades in the Dark, actually Inex Card RPG, probably the best example. And there probably is some inspiration from Inex Card RPG, which probably explains why I'm enjoying it so much, because I love that. But the effort system, very similar, but it's doing it in one roll, which is super slick, because you want to roll under to hit your skill, but if you roll high, you do more damage. I'm about to do this, but like it actually is damage when you're fighting someone, but it doesn't always have to be damage. It could be like you're trying to disarm a bomb and maybe it takes 10 hurdle points to deal with that. Climbing something as stuff is falling apart, any type of like dramatic task. So yeah, that was very interesting. There are 8 skills, no attributes, which is pretty neat. And those skills are combat, communication, engineering, fitness, helm, medicine, psionics, and science. And here's like a quick example of a character in the beginning here. I think those are pretty straightforward, except for maybe helm. Helm is going to be important for like, it's kind of like piloting. Actually, I have it right here. Let me double check. Helm, flying starships and operating ground vehicles. So yeah. And then for creating your character, choose a profession, which has lots to do with your starting gear. If I have like a complaint, so to speak, it's that the gear doesn't really, there's not a lot of difference between the gear. All of them have a laser pistol, communicators, one has a med kit, one has a tool kit, one has a galaxy translator. I don't know, I mean it's roll under, so I guess, I don't know, I'd have to think about how the gear packages could be spruced up. But there's that, and then you would assign your skill ratings, and your skill ratings are going to be 214, 212, 210, and 28. Choose your species, and there's a good amount of species that you can choose from. Calculate your hit points, and then note your rank. And for your species, you've got human, of course, but you've also got some robots, and you've got some weird ones like lobstron, amphibious humanoids with large bulbous heads. There is also the potential for psionics, and there are a few different psionics powers in the game. Character advancement is pretty light. You're going to add 1 point to any skill rating, and then you could potentially increase your HP, and on even levels you can get another psionic ability. There are special abilities, but it looks like the special abilities are primarily coming from the races. There's quite a few pre-made characters in the book, and then it starts to go into the rules, which kind of just explains that it's a D20 roll under. You do have special roles like the pose rolls, extended tasks, group rolls, all that is covered. Instead of critical hits, there are exceptional rolls. Successful rolls of 11 or more are considered exceptional. GMs may give PCs extra information, 2 successes for extended tasks, and that's having to do with those hurdle points. Very slick combat initiative. 1 to 3 PCs go first, 4 to 6 NPCs go first. And one of my favorite things, after I briefly discuss the armor, which is you've got light, medium, heavy, and it just absorbs 2 points, 4 points, or 6 points respectively, and that's my preferred armor style. Starship Combat is the thing I want to talk about, because Starship Combat is pretty slick. I gotta say, there's a pretty cool Starship Combat procedure in here, and it really just starts with you kind of get ideas of like what type of damage is going to be done and how many d6s are tied to that. Then you have a helm roll that is going to be tied to if you can take damage or if you're going to take damage or not. And then you have your combat roll, and this is you firing. And then you have a science or engineering roll, and this is going to lead to detecting how many hull points, a lot of plays on the H's for HP, the other ship has. And then the ending to combat, you can get 3 successful helm rolls to retreat. You can negotiate, or the ship is just dead in space if they reach 0 HP. And there's some special rules for like a quantum torpedo here. And you've got a couple different options for surprise and called shots, and also tractor beams, which is very neat. There's also a note for engineers making repairs during the Starship Combat. And then in the back of the book, you do have quite a few different creatures that you can fight, and then a adventure. John does always include optional rules, just understanding that, especially for the light rules that are here, some people may prefer some different options, armor being a classic one, right? Some people might prefer it to add to like defense instead of deducting, which may not even be in this book. It might be in the Supers book. I guess I should give you a real example, huh? A real example might be like traditional damage, where, you know, certain levels of items or weapons just get higher with, like, maybe hand-to-hand is a D6 and simple weapons are a D8, laser pistols are 2D6, for example. Which is pretty neat that he includes those. His Supers has solo rules. This one does not. I wish there was, like, some oracles or something. So, some things that I'm pretty excited about in this, and I'm excited to, I'll probably do like a solo play of it as well, even if it's just one, but if more people are interested, I'll continue. But I am very interested in the D20 roll under but rolling high. I love that. I mean, I could apply that to anything, so I mean, thanks for shining the light on it. I'm sure it's probably in other systems, but I can't think of one right now. I can think of, like, what is it, Tunnels and Trolls or whatever the hell it is, Tunnel Trolls, but that's not with a D20. Pretty sure isn't that D6s, where it accomplishes multiple things in the same roll. So there's that, and then also the space combat, because boy, is there a lot of, whether it's pirate ships or spaceship combat, that can just be a slog and just be like too much, too complicated. That can be a little bit of a challenge in solo play. So yeah, I dig it. It is a light system, so advancement being on the lighter side, gear being on the lighter side, but that's kind of to be expected, right? The benefit of this, I can look at this today and then play it today within the hour, probably within minutes. And that's the beauty of games like this. What are your thoughts on cinematic space? Have you played it already, or streamlined superheroes? I'm curious your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one as we continue to explore the sacred art of gaming together.